front disc brakes. It's just become worse, and I don't think it's even safe to ride like this anymore. So the problem is that when I pull the brake lever, I feel a really hard pulsation. So I can describe it as a wave. So it takes like a bass when I brake, then it kind of drops the pressure, right? So I can feel that my hand is actually not facing any resistance, so I need to press more and more and more. So, and that really correlates to the speed. So I presume these are the disc brakes that are worn, or the worst that could be is the front wheel bearings are gone, and I will have to exchange them. But I don't think that's that, because on even on high speed, like over 100 kilometers, 120 kilometers, I don't feel any, and I don't see anything that is wrong with the front wheel, I think. And when I spin the wheel, there are no noises, there are no drag, there's nothing. So I really hope that these are the disc brakes. So if you look at the disc brake from the side, oh god, this is not straight enough. This is the disc brake, the brake disc, and has pads, the brake pads, that are pushed towards the disc by pistons. Well, I have something like, well, normally you have pistons on one side, so what could happen is that this part here, this face here, is either worn out like that, or the disc is bent. So if you just make a layout of the disc circumference and lay it on a horizontal line, then it could be something like that. Yeah, so it can have a bend here or here and there, and the bend could go either direction. As in the end, what you will see is the difference of the depth, either it's a bump or a dent, that accumulates to so-called runout. So this thing here is called runout. Runout from the base of it. For my motorcycle, this acceptable runout is 0.15 millimeter distance. This means that either direction, again, either here or here. And if that's the case, then I will have to exchange my discs. Additionally to that, the disc brake, the brake disc, when it's new, has a thickness of 5 millimeters. An acceptable thickness is 4.5 millimeters. So I'm gonna check either of these numbers here, and even if one of these is beyond the acceptable norm, then I will have to exchange the part. If I change the disc brakes, I will also have to change the brake pads. Yeah, so let's get to that. Put my bike on a stand with the front wheel off the ground. That's done. The next thing we're gonna need is the tool called indicator. So what it shows a difference in thickness or depth while showing you the offset of this shaft here. So it's really precise. Well, maybe not this one, but it should do the work pretty good for us. So what you need to do, you need to put it against the disc brake with a pre-tension. So we're gonna apply the indicator shaft with the disc brake, so it shows us a bit of offset. Let's say 1.5, but basically this is not really important. And make sure that you put the indicator on a really solid base. Like here, for example, I use my gate frame for the garage. Has a magnetic base, so it should be pretty stable. Yay. So as you can see, maybe not now, but as you can see, it presses against the disc brake. So what I'm gonna do now, I want to align it so it shows us the 0. This is not necessary. I got, oh. First I need to tighten the clamp. Make it as tight as possible, because all this construction is not really rigid. So, and you don't want to put your indicator the way that while you're spinning the wheel it falls into one of these holes. Okay. So. Say we have a 0 here. So now we're gonna spin the wheel really slow and see the runout, basically the offset, either this direction or positive or negative direction, and the distance between the extreme points is going to be our runout. So remember that the runout from my motorcycle is 0.15 millimeters. So we have almost 6, 7, one direction already. 10. It's pretty big. I would exchange it. 12. So yeah, this disc is surely bent, and then it goes the other direction. So 1, 2, 200s. So I would say it's exactly the allowable limit. So this brake disc is gonna be exchanged. Checking another. 3. So much so far. 9. 12. Oh god. This is definitely out of the limit. So you can see it's minus 25. Minus 40. So it's 0.4 millimeters of runout one direction, one side. Damn it. This disc is really not safe to ride on. And then it goes the opposite direction. So 5, 4, 5. this is where we have our 38. Doesn't matter anymore, it's basically minus 0.4 plus 5, so it's about half millimeter of a runout. So it looks like I'm exchanging both disc brakes. Let's see if the bearings are all right. Brakes are dead, and I need to exchange the disc rotors, and now I'll have to decide on what kind of make brand I want to take. Going with OEM doesn't make any sense here for me, because they cost like fortune, 240 I think a piece for a disc rotor. I'm gonna try the Metal Gear. It's a German-Australian make, or we'll find out maybe the TRV/Lucas, or Brembo has something interesting. Maybe I will upgrade to floating disc brake. I don't know if that makes sense for this kind of motorcycle. Remember, I'm riding a cruiser, but it might be interesting. Maybe I really wonder what causes this bend disc, because the mileage on this motorcycle is really low. It's 24,000 kilometers, but I drive quite active, so I ride quite active. Maybe that's because of that. Another thing is that unfortunately I left the motorcycle under not really nice conditions. Basically, it spent a winter under a cover outside, and the winter was pretty rough. So yeah, we'll see.